All right, it's time for my August TBR. It is ambitious with a capital A because Tome Topple's happening, and there's a stack of books here from the library, and they all have due dates, and they're all chonkers, which is great for Tome Topple, but we'll see what I get done. So, for those who don't know, Tome Topple is a readathon where the goal is to read books that are over 500 pages. It takes place over 2 weeks. So, Tome Topple takes place from, I think for this round, August 8th to the 21st. Your time zone stuff. If you want to know, I'll have a Audrey's announcement video down below because that's the one I watched. And they also provided me with the bingo chart. So I will quickly go through my Tome Topple TBR. You're allowed to use a book for up to 2 prompts. So I'm going to try to get to Sage. It's a lot to read in 2 weeks, but I'm going to try it. And then I'll talk about the other books I plan to read throughout August, since August is not just 2 weeks of the month. For the first prompt, it's tome that's been on my TBR the longest. I finally got it from the library, and that's Tagana. This is a well-loved copy from the library. I have had this on my TBR 4 or 5 years, like before I knew what a TBR was. I just had a Goodreads want to read list, and this has been on it. So I got it. It's a chonker. The paperback comes in at like 673 pages, so that's the one that's on my TBR the longest. What's the next one? Standalone. I'm going to be reading Sword of Kaigan with Kayla as a buddy read. I've been wanting to read this forever. I have a Prime membership, so I have access to it for free. So I need to read this, because I think people keep saying it's for Kindle Unlimited, but at least in the States, if you have a Prime account, it's a Prime read. You can just get it for free. It also means that unfortunately you can't get the ebook from the library. At least when I tried to request that my library get the ebook, they said they couldn't, and I've only ever had that happen with Audible exclusives. So that's like a bummer, but I do have access to it, so I'm going to read it. I'm very excited for this waterbending magic stuff. I don't know. People just keep saying it's great, and it's a standalone. So I'm always on the lookout for great standalone fantasy, because there's like less than 20 of them. And now, tome that I have for the most pages, we're going to say again real quick, when I was looking at the ones for the challenges, Tagana is my chunkiest, but Sword of Kaigan is only like 50 pages behind. Now, this one's a stretch. This one's the prompt genre I don't read normally. I'm putting Thunderhead, which is the next book in the Scythe trilogy. I don't typically read young adult sci-fi, although I do read it once in a while, but I don't read it that often, at least when I compare it to fantasy and other sci-fi genres, and just in general, the age range of young adult is not something I pick up all the time, so I'm putting that there. Kind of a stretch, but I'm doing it. And I'm actually buddy reading this with A Book Circus, and I'm very excited because we've never done a buddy read before, and I love her channel, and you should be totally checking out her channel if you don't already. She has a great presence and reads wonderful books. And I'm also going to use Thunderhead for the read one tome slot. I could use anything for that, but I just figured, just put that there. Now there's a slot for read a tome by a Black author. Now this is, I don't think this is cheating. So this is a short story collection, Sunspot Jungle. I heard about it from Chloe's channel, Thistle and Verse. Again, check her out. But it is over 500 pages. And it's written by many authors, but it is put together. The editor is Bill Campbell, and that is a Black person, so I'm kind of counting it for that. And there are Black authors highlighted in this short story collection, so that's what I'm using for it. And I'm also having this as for the prompt most recent on your TBR, because I did just recently pick this up from the library. This is the most recent tome that I've physically gotten from the library, so it works for that challenge as well. And the last challenge I'm going to try and do is the audiobook, which, like, I hate listening to tomes on audiobooks. They're so long, but I've been wanting to reread City of Brass because I don't remember much of what happened in City of Brass and Kingdom of Copper. So I want to reread them, and Ava from Books Ava After was like, I love the audiobooks. I think same with Katie from Brightness Katie Reads. So I'm like, well, maybe I'll reread it with audiobook and get like a different experience, but it'll be a good refresher. And I just got it from the library, so that is my audiobook. So if I can get those done, I will become a sage for Tome Topple, which would be great. Now, I still have quite a stack over here, and I have some more on my list that aren't in the stack. So let's go through the rest of the August TBR. There is a book club on the solar-powered book club. I'll put the link down to the Goodreads below, but they are reading 100,000 Kingdoms for August, so I would love to reread it. I read it a year ago, and bought this recently, and I love N.K. Jemisin. I don't need much of an excuse to reread it, so hopefully I can make time to reread it. I'll for sure join the discussion regardless, because I do remember parts of it, but there's a lot that I know I didn't get the first time around because I was too busy being like, what's happening? So it'd be nice to also look at the themes and messages that I know are laced in here within the story, now that I'm not going to be as distracted by the really compelling plot. Another one that I am buddy reading at the start of August is Foundryside, because I need to reread this, because I remember the beginning and I remember the gist of the plot, but I know at the end there's like insane world building moments that I only vaguely remembered and only kind of understood last time, so I would like to reread it before getting into what I also hope to read next month, Shorefall, which is the sequel to Foundryside, and I also have it from the library. So I'm hoping to read both of those within the same month, just because why not? Similar vein, I still have Jade City. I'm not getting to this in August. When I'm recording this, it is July 29th. I'm not getting to this, but I would like to, and it also would have worked for TOPPLE, but I just don't think I'll read it in those 2 weeks, but I'm hoping to get to it in August. And I also want to get to Trail of Lightning. This is by Rebecca Roanhorse, and I really liked her short story. I'm not remembering the name. I'll put it here. I think it's Your Authentic Indian Experience, potentially, but I loved her writing style in that short story, so I'm really interested in this series. I don't know how many books are in it, but I also won a copy of Black Sun from Goodreads, so whenever that shows up, that's high on my need to read list. And I still have a few more I need to get to. So The House in the Cerulean Sea we're doing for the Space Sirens book club, and R loves it, Audrey loves it. I need to get to this book. It's on my Kindle. I need to do that. And the last book I would really, really, really like to get to is the second book in the Nine Fox Gambit series. I don't remember the name of the book or the series, but it's by Yoon-Ha Lee, and I'm obsessed with it, and I ordered it, and it should be here soon, and I want to read it. That's really, I'd like to. So there's a lot of books, guys. That's a lot. Realistically, am I going to get to all that? We'll see. I do have like some vacation, but sometimes vacation doesn't lead to as much reading as we would all like to think, right? So that's it for this TBR. Are you participating in any readathons? I know there's the Disney readathon. I know there's an Avatar Last Airbender readathon. I know there's a lot going on. I know that the newts are happening in a smaller capacity on the Discord because of things. I just wanted to focus on all my buddy reads and book club reads and TOPPLE, because TOPPLE, at least, I was already going to be reading tomes, so it made sense. Plus, if you're a big fantasy reader, tomes just, they just feel good. So that's it for this one. If you've made it this far and you don't want to comment, but you want me to know you're here, let's have the emoji be something green for Jade City, because that works. It can be, a heart, whatever, I don't care. Something green, to your discretion. And other than that, if you want to subscribe, if you like, being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.